In 1922, under the blazing sun and the relentless blowing sand and wind of the Valley of the Kings by the Nile River, an event permanently changed the history of archaeology worldwide. Amid the vast and mysterious desert landscape, a stone door covered in the dust of time gently opened, revealing the entrance to a tomb that had been asleep for thousands of years. From that deep, dark place, a cold breeze, as if carrying an ancient spirit, blew out, captivating the minds of the curious. Amid the howling wind and the sound of sand scraping against stone, a low, vague sound suddenly echoed, like a moan coming from the other world. It was the moment when Howard Carter, the British archaeologist with iron perseverance and a desire to unravel the mysteries of ancient Egypt, along with his wealthy sponsor Lord Carnarvon, faced a breathtaking moment. As Carter gently lifted the golden coffin lid of the young pharaoh Tutankhamun, the whole world seemed to hold its breath. A cold breeze rushed out, as if the tomb, silent for years, had accumulated a deadly warning. The hieroglyphs carved on the ancient wall, flickering in the lamplight, clearly read, "Death will come swiftly to the one who disturbs the sleep of the pharaoh." In the dim light, Carter stopped, his eyes reflecting many layers of emotion: doubt, excitement, and a nameless worry. Were those warnings merely superstition? Or did some power truly exist to protect the eternal sleep of the pharaohs? Just 6 months later, when Lord Carnarvon suddenly died from a seemingly harmless mosquito bite, all eyes turned back to the tomb. The strange thing was that at the very moment he took his last breath in the hospital, the entire city of Cairo suddenly plunged into darkness as the power system was unexpectedly cut off. And in that silent, dark night, Carnarvon's loyal dog, who had stayed by his side throughout the journey, howled in pain and then collapsed, as if sensing an invisible force had severed the thread of life. Is this just a coincidence? Or has the ancient curse truly awakened after thousands of years buried beneath the hot desert sand? This question has haunted archaeologists, scientists, and the media for an entire century. Let's turn back time to the year 1922, when Carter and his team began the greatest excavation of the 20th century. After many years of persistent digging and disappointment, they suddenly discovered a staircase buried deep under a thick layer of sand. Behind the door, sealed with cement and royal seals, was another world, the nearly intact tomb of Tutankhamun, containing thousands of previously unknown treasures. The scene inside the tomb overwhelmed everyone. The radiant golden mask of King Tutankhamun, golden statues of deities, an intricately carved throne, chariots, bows and arrows, and countless other precious items, all shimmering in the flickering oil lamp light. Carter not only unearthed history, but also inadvertently awakened mysteries long forgotten. From that very moment, the legend of the mummy's curse began to spread, becoming a global sensation. But it didn't stop at just oral stories. A series of mysterious deaths occurred consecutively among those directly involved in the excavation. The first was Lord Carnarvon, the British nobleman who spent his entire fortune sponsoring Carter. Just a few months after the tomb was opened, he was bitten by a mosquito, and the small wound became severely infected, leading to high fever, delirium, and ultimately death. The eerie coincidence of the entire electricity in Cairo going out at the exact moment of his death fueled the fear. It didn't stop there. George J. Gould, an American billionaire who once visited the tomb, also suddenly died from a strange fever. Arthur Mace, Carter's trusted assistant, also fell seriously ill and died just a few months later. The timeline of these strange deaths continued. From famous Egyptologists to photographers, guards, and even members of the Carnarvon family. In total, nearly 10 people directly involved in the excavation died within the first 10 years after the golden coffin lid was opened. Amid public confusion, many scientists have resolved to decode this mystery in the light of reason. A prominent hypothesis has been proposed. In ancient Egyptian tombs, especially those sealed for thousands of years, there may exist harmful fungal spores, notably Aspergillus flavus. This type of fungus, when dispersed in the air, can invade the lungs, causing serious infections and even death, particularly for those with weakened immune systems or injuries. Scientists have simulated the process of fungal spores spreading through the air whenever a tomb is opened. Toxic dust particles infiltrate the respiratory system, silently attacking the body. This could be a scientific explanation for the series of mysterious deaths following excavations. However, the question remains, if it is just mold, why have many others who entered the tomb not encountered any danger? Could there be other factors beyond science and random chance? To better understand the power of the curse, it is necessary to look back at the beliefs and culture of the ancient Egyptians. For them, death was not the end, but a transition to another world. The tomb was not only a resting place, but also a gateway to the eternal realm, strictly guarded by gods such as Anubis, the god of mummification, Osiris, the lord of the afterlife, and many complex rituals. The warning inscriptions carved on the tomb walls were not just threats to mortals, but also spells summoning divine energy to protect the pharaoh's soul from any violation. With the Western mindset of the early 20th century, where science and superstition still intertwined, those warnings became even more haunting when reflected through the lens of the media. Western press, especially tabloids, quickly turned the pharaoh's curse into a hot topic. Sensational headlines and stories woven around mysterious deaths fueled widespread fear across Europe and America. A self-fulfilling prophecy effect emerged. Those who believed in the curse became tense, anxious, and even developed pathological symptoms simply due to psychological pressure. It is precisely the spread of media that has transformed isolated and explainable events into a series of evidence for an inexplicable curse. Each death, each unusual event is attributed to the invisible hand of the ancient Egyptian gods, blurring the line between reality and illusion, between science and mysticism. So after a century, when we look back at this series of events, what is the truth? Were the mysterious deaths around Tutankhamun's tomb really the result of mold, coincidence, or the effect of an ancient curse that is still silently guarding the pharaoh's sleep beneath the desert sands? Perhaps we will never have the final answer. The pharaoh's curse exists not only in paranormal phenomena, but also in the minds of those who have touched the greatest mystery in human history. Every time humans try to unveil the past, to excavate history, they face not only material legacies, but also confront their own fear, respect, and deep-seated beliefs. It is the delicate boundary between the progress of science and the spiritual and cultural values that have existed for millennia. The greatest lesson is perhaps humility before the past. The Egyptian tombs are not only archaeological treasures, but also places that mark the undying belief in the afterlife, in the power of the gods, and in the existence of things beyond the understanding of modern humans. If you also feel that beneath the golden sands of the desert, there are countless secrets yet to be unraveled, curses, legends, lessons about life, death, and the power of faith, then continue to accompany us. The ancient stories are still waiting to be told, and each journey into that mystical world is not only a way to uncover the past, but also a dialogue with the soul of modern humanity. Please subscribe to the Ancient Echo channel, where we will guide you through every trace of time, listen to the echoes of history, where the boundary between truth and legend blends into one. Under the cold moonlight, Tutankhamun's tomb still lies quietly in the darkness, the treasures glittering with golden light, the majestic statues of gods, the ancient inscriptions containing many mysteries. They whisper timeless stories, telling of love, power, betrayal, and curses that have never rested. Let's join together to continue the journey of exploring humanity's greatest mysteries, where history is not only recorded, but also alive, breathing, and haunting through time.